Going for now 5 days on the ground, but in those 5 days we're gonna do hard shooting the entire time, and that's gonna be great because it's a great place to shoot. It's very exciting in a lot of ways. I'm very much looking forward to it, yet anxious. I'm definitely anxious because I find it a bit scary. It's just a rough place it's a full-on jungle there. Not exactly the deep jungle, but it's really close. At least as far as I'm concerned, it's basically the jungle. It only takes a quick drive. So I guess the difference between where we're staying for the majority and the actual jungle is that ours is low near a clearing that's been artificially done by the river, while the actual jungle would be a bit higher into the hills and is more so like old growth. There hasn't been clearing there. Other than that, it's about as jungle as it gets, and the jungle is not comfortable and it's definitely scary, but it's very exciting and exotic, and it's interesting. It's very interesting, but it's hard to endure because number one, to me, the biggest annoyance and problem are the insects, but that is only compounded by the extreme heat and high humidity. So you end up basically suffering the whole time and feeling like you're being attacked. It's like slightly panic inducing that you have to work on yourself and toughen yourself mentally to not be freaking out and want to just get out. It's very easy to just be like, get me out of here. So yeah, 5 days in the jungle on the ground, 2 days flying in and out, in 100 degrees weather, and pretty interesting place. Yeah, I'm very curious about this experience. We're preparing hard for it. Right now I'm really just testing, walking through the park. A little bit of birds are singing. Yeah, it's here. Now I walk a bit through a gravelly part. Now I hear car noise, some birds. There will be many birds to record in Belize and hopefully also the videotape. I'm very, very happy about that part in particular. They're kind of hard to get because they're farther out. They're wild, but they are used to people, I guess. They're monkeys too. Monkeys are there. It's harder to see them because they're more clever or avoiding people, I guess, more so. But they are there, and we found them too. We photographed them. It would be amazing to videotape some birds or monkeys as well. I definitely have always been a great admirer of the nature movies that primarily the BBC makes, but some other ones make good ones too. And I've always really wanted to do something like that. Of course, not at that level, but as far as I'm concerned, going into the jungle for 5 days and getting what I can is the closest I get to that, because like I'm saying, it's rough. And I like the roughness. I sometimes have a bit of a fear that as we age and get wealthier and our lifestyles become more spoiled and we're less risk prone and so on, it will end up very boring at some point. So like, you have to be able to endure at least some degree of challenge, otherwise you'll never be able to achieve anything. And the only challenge that you achieve is just a mental grind in a city or doing a job in an office, and then everything from there on is very easy and comfortable. You're going to much more so be bored and soft, and things will feel like they lack meaning. And then you start getting melancholic, depressed, and unfulfilled, and you start having imbalance and one of the crazy things, or just everything falls apart. Part of all that is that we try to over insulate ourselves, I would say. We are doing a lot in the realm of improving our conditions. It's really the number one thing that humans care for, I think, at least in this day and age. And as you make yourself more and more comfortable, more and more well off, more and more safe, more and more equipped, more and more everything that you think of, satisfied with the best food, the best everything, the best consumer goods, the best, I don't know, painkillers, you just end up more and more not really having any tolerance to challenge and ability to overcome challenge. And that really is the core thing that sets people apart, how well you can cope with the things come at you, including the challenges that you create for yourself to get ahead or above. And if you don't overcome challenges, you will never make progress. And that's really, it's like a type of toughening yourself. It's the same thing for athletes or fighters who have to get way outside their comfort zone to be able to be top performers. And that way, when they train, they're by no means comfortable, but then they win and they're the best. Now, how much sacrifice you're willing to take to put yourself in conditions that you don't really like so much for the sake of getting tougher and better and stronger and faster and more capable and more successful, that depends on finding the balance. And you find balance, but it's not permanent, and you start losing grip of the balance at times based on changes that happen in your life, based on simply complacency, based on just falling into a routine that isn't 100% suited for continuing that discipline. You need to continue that discipline, and you need to balance it to the point where, yes, you're performing well, but you're also getting your rewards, you're resting properly, you're restoring yourself properly. And there's a whole field of restoration which I believe in, that you have to go through so that you can maintain. It's like, you take your car to the mechanic, or you have to take your body to the doctor, to a physical therapist, to a massage, to acupuncture. You have to exercise, you have to eat the right foods, you have to take walks like I'm doing right now, you have to do all the things, including breathing, just simply breathing exercises. Just come out and breathe, it's so important, and it falls into restoration. You cause damage to yourself, there's wear and tear, and together with that, your body has the ability to regenerate to a degree. Some things are not correctable, but you are able to go and do something like a hard exercise or a hard job or a hard adventure, and you beat yourself up a bit. Simple things like walking, climbing, sitting, or depending on how long you do them, will damage you in some way or another. And same with just simple desk jobs, they cause injuries. And so you have to do this constant act of regenerating yourself through various means. And in the same time, you have to also have the balance worked out. So there's that degree of restoration, that degree of challenge, of effort, of exercise. And there has to also be creativity, especially if you are the kind of person that has climbed up the Maslow pyramids of needs enough to have the need for creativity. I am one of such persons, and so is Susie, and we very much feel a need, like we have to create. This is why I'm out here right now, and why I'm vlogging off the top is for testing a camera, for creating better vlogs, for raising my skill level, simply to get better at this.